Call the January 8th, 2019 special call board meeting to order. First on the agenda is Pledge of Allegiance, led tonight by our Finance Director, Mr. Jeff Sandy.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Michaels, you said we had no speakers? Okay. All right, Mr. Spurlock.
All right, what we like to do first is put up the proposed Rockvale High School rezoning map. Can you take us back through it again, just some of the things that have been changed, please?
Yes, sir. Just to highlight the changes in the entire district. Blackman, which is now at just over 2,400 students, would be reduced to about 1,750. Eagleville's high school program, which is 404, would be reduced to about 250. Laverne would remain at its current level. Oakland, which is now almost 2,300, would be reduced to about 1,750. Riverdale is currently around 2,100. It would be reduced to 1,870 or 1,880. Siegel High School, currently at 1,760, would end up evening out. Smyrna would also remain the same. They're about 1,980 right now. Stewart's Creek is at 2,230, and they would reduce to about 1,850.
Okay, and could you bring up the Blackman map where the density docs on residential students in those areas?
So,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, basically, what you're seeing is the physical location of each current high school student's location on our map.
Okay, as you can see, Blackman, and if we look at their zone in terms of area, it's probably one of the smaller ones, but it's also the most dense one. Now, one of the things that was brought up last night about Blackman High School, if we relieve the overcrowdedness, it will be filled up. Absolutely. In fact, perhaps maybe sometime in the near future, maybe not anytime in the next 5 years, but we may even see, because of the density of that zone, it is a strong possibility that that zone will contract because of all the building that's taking place. There's still, I think, 4,000 units being planned in that area. Am I correct in that?
The construction and maintenance department and I have been working together in compiling information from the county and from the different municipal planning boards. And right now we total about 4,000 permitted units that are in inventory in the county.
All right, now would you please bring up the enrollment numbers with the grandfathering of seniors, the grandfathering of rising sophomores to seniors with BCA, and the keeping Seven Oaks in the Stewart's Creek zone.
Sorry, it's a little harder to see on the screen. So basically what this shows is if all juniors and seniors were to take advantage of any kind of grandfathering or zone exemption process, it would still be somewhat hard for the facilities to manage those students. In that, if you can look at the grand total that we come up with, for example, at Blackman High School, after rezoning, if all the students were to go where we rezoned them to, but we let all of the juniors and seniors, we allow them to grandfather in or zone exempt in, we would still be well over 2,000 at just that one facility.
Now, that would not include any zone exemptions.
That doesn't include any zone exemptions that aren't already on the books.
Principal Marshall, typically, how many out-of-zone exemptions do you get for the IB program?
For out of zone, roughly, we could receive upwards of 100.
Gotcha. Any questions from the board members?
Yeah, I just, thank you. Curious, so that's the number if we were to grandfather seniors and juniors. What does the number look like when it's just seniors?
So again, I'll use Blackman as the case because they're just first in line. You're still looking at approximately 200.
So Blackman would be at 1896?
Yes, sir. Basically 1,900.
Gotcha.
And of course, I mean, seniors, that's only going to be for 1 year.
That's correct.
So I guess from my perspective, then what we're really looking at here is, you know, and I understand there are a lot of parents that really want to see their juniors grandfather, but when you talk about the density that we've got in that Blackman area already and the growth that's planned, I mean, we would essentially be keeping it overcrowded as it is and not even taking into consideration all those units that are going to be built in what would really have to stay a Blackman zone.
So you're looking
Did I-
at 2 years for them to work out.
Well, if you look at, Dr. Justice, you may be, talk on this. Is she here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, your freshman class is over 600 this year, am I correct on that?
Yes, sir.
And out of the last, 2 out of the last 3 years, you've had a freshman class over 600, well over 600, is that
Or
correct?
close to 600, yes.
So it wouldn't take long.
Especially with 2.5% growth.
And, you know, we spoke about that growth district-wide last night as 2.5% to 3%. Each school has a different growth factor. That's an average for the district. Right. Yeah.
So it would say 6-7%.
Absolutely.
Any other questions on that? Okay. One thing I'd like you just to comment on, got several emails on the quality of classes that would be at Rockvale High School. And our educational classes will be the same classes we have in every school. So you'll have the AP and honors. That's dual enrollment. And whatever else at Rockvale Mr. Luker comes up with. Maybe a few different things in career technical education, but that's been that way in the county for many years. So we'll just have to work around that the best we can. All right, that being said, any other questions on that? Okay, I guess we'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that, recommend a motion to approve the zone lines as presented on January the 7th with the following exceptions for Rockvale High School. For our high schools, the seniors will be grandfathered, rising 10th grade through 12th grade, students currently enrolled in Blackman Collegiate Academy will be grandfathered.
And Seven Oaks subdivision remain in Stewart Creek zone.
Okay.
I'd like to also recommend that we
Rocky Fork Elementary, recommend to approve the Rocky Fork Elementary zone as presented. And any students granted the zone exemption or grandfathered would be required to provide their own transportation.
Okay. Any questions on that? Do we have a second?
No, second.
Thank you, Mr. Hodge. Any questions on the motion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. And there's no other business. We're going to be adjourned.
Can we have just a moment for discussion, Chairman?
Discussion?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd just like to address a few of the decisions that we've made.
Sure. Go right ahead.
If that's all right. You know, this has been one of the hardest decisions. We are tasked with making decisions for about 46,000 students. And I understand that we didn't arrive at these decisions lightly. Sleepless nights. As a new board member, this is my first opportunity, but my children will be affected by this rezoning. I've got two at Riverdale. I've got a rising senior next year and a rising sophomore. My kids will be separated as well. So when I say that this was not easy, it was not easy, but I would like to thank Mr. Morgan for the work you've put in and given us a really good platform to start with. Mr. Spurlock for your leadership. We don't have a bad school. We've got a lot of work to do, but we've got some great schools, and every child is going to be afforded a solid education. We've got great educators, great leaders. So as tough as this is, I would encourage parents, and I've heard from a lot of them, talk with your students. You know, they're going to embrace change. They're going to have change. If they use the Tennessee Promise, they're going to go to a 2-year institution. If they use the Hope, they're going to a 4-year. So 2 years, 4 years, you know, part of the decision for me on juniors, aside from the population, is 2 years. In 2 years, a lot of these parents have argued that their kids have been able to make meaningful relationships with faculty, with their fellow students, and that was in a year. We started this process in October, and so in a year and a few months, these kids have gained some great advantages in life, built some great relationships, and with social media, look, I've got kids who've got phones, iPads, and Fortnite at the end of the day. They're communicating with people that you don't even know about. So I would encourage parents to talk with your children, help them accept this, make it the easiest transition as possible, because as parents, we're going to make it or break it for them. And they have an opportunity to go to some great schools. We moved here 12 years ago. I've said this before, and I won't take too much time. But for the schools, we wanted to give our kids a better quality of life, and we've accomplished that. And a lot of other families are doing the same thing. So as tough as this challenge was, as hard as these decisions were, please believe me when I say we did not arrive at these easily. It was not an easy decision, but we are confident that we've made the best possible decision for every child, and I would beg parents to help ease this pain for your students. Talk to them, communicate with them about their advantages, and help them with their classes. You know, we've got great CTE programs. I can't say enough, but this has been a very challenging decision, and the boundaries, they're not a number. It's not a free and reduced lunch issue. It's the best quality education for every child, and that is what we have determined here today. So my fellow board members may have something to say, but it weighs heavy on me. But we considered every child, and this is where we've come, and I would encourage you to partner with us in getting that news out and educating the other parents in your neighborhoods, because it takes a village, and some people don't like that saying, but I certainly do, because it does. So thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for all the work that the board did. And if you have any questions, we're here to answer them as best we can.
Thank you, Ms. Johnson. Anybody else?
Let me add a couple of things, if I could, Mr. Chairman. First of all, I can echo what she just said. This hasn't been easy, and in many cases pleasant, particularly this morning for many of us. You could read the emails, you'd understand what I'm talking about, from people we've never seen. But it's also been, fun is not right, but it's been interesting. It surely has. And I want to thank Mr. Morgan for his work again in doing this with two schools this time. And Mr. Luker over here, raise your hand there, Mr. Luker. He's our Rockvale principal, outstanding individual that I've been pleased to know for perhaps 3 years, I guess, maybe 3 or 4 years. And I have full confidence that he is going to set up a high school along with his faculty and assistant principals and staff that will be absolutely top-notch. And it's a ton of work. Been through it a little bit myself, but not like you're about to go through it. And you started yesterday as the principal, the official principal. And but it's also an opportunity that you're going to have to affect children's lives in a positive manner for years, as you well know. And I wish you well, and I look forward to coming out there. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Anyone else?
Me. I would like to echo Ms. Johnson and Mr. Jordan's comments, as well as thank our central office staff and Mr. Morgan, who have, almost at the drop of the hat when we needed numbers or we needed some figures pulled, they have brought them for us and has made a lot of this a little bit more easier than us trying to dig some of this stuff up ourselves, since they've actually been through this before. And thank you, Mr. Chairman and Mr. Spurlock.
Anyone else got anything? Anything else?
Mr. Chairman, I think anybody in the audience that still would like to speak with us individually certainly is welcome to after the meeting's over.
All right. If you'd like to speak, come on up to the...
Yes, I have one simple question. Can we still apply for a zoning waiver for our child or children for the 2019 upcoming school year? And if so, then what qualifies for zoning waivers?
Okay, you for this year or for next fall?
Next fall.
Okay, that starts in zone waivers in February, Mr. Evans?
Yes, sir. The applications will be released February 1st, and there's a priority deadline to apply April 15th.
Okay, and what qualifies a student to be eligible even for a zoning waiver?
It's a case-by-case situation based on board policy. It typically has to have a hardship of some sort, and space has to be available at the school that you're requesting.
Okay. And where do we get these zoning waivers here?
On the first, they'll be at every school on the website and also available here, either one.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. We'll be adjourned.